Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we have a surprise update. They just dropped this on us. New patch. We've got a lot of balance changes in here. A lot of really key, powerful cards were hit in standard right now, and even some wild cards as well. So love to see it anytime they change up in the meta that hits some of the more popular decks and gives the ability for some of these lesser cards that came out this mini set or this expansion. They haven't thrived yet. This gives them a little bit of room. So first things first, Warrior. Warrior got hit really hard. Warrior has been at the top of the meta now, whether you're talking about Control Warrior, Kaz Warrior, Charge Warrior, Pirate Warrior, which doesn't see too much play anymore, but still a very Warrior's just good. Shield Shatter, it used to do 5 damage to everything, and now it's going to do 4. So it still has the cost 1 less for each armor you have, but instead of doing 5, it's going to do 4. And that 4 to 5 break off period is pretty big. There's a lot of 6/5s and 5/5s, and 5 is just you'll notice a huge difference in what you can kill with this. Granted, still really good against most aggressive decks and mid-range decks, but it's obviously the power level of this card went down quite a bit. Still obviously probably going to play 2 of in each deck, but still Warrior got a lot less field clear now because of this shield shattered change. And this is probably one of the cheapest, most high damage removals in the game right now. For like the best that you could possibly do is maybe like Brawl on 5, and if you have 4 you have Coin. That was like a really great AoE because it clears regardless of health. But Shield Shatter, you could go Frozen Bucklered Shield Shatter on turn 2. Like you could deal 5 damage to everything on turn 2, which was kind of just insane, right? So it going down to 4 does make sense. Tidal Revenant. This is a surprise, right? A lot of people looked at this card when it was first announced, and they didn't really. It wasn't anything that stuck out to be like a huge, you know, this is gonna need to be nerfed. So we went from deal 5, get 8 armor, to deal 5 damage, gain 5 armor. So we're getting 3 less armor on this guy. Now it's just a 5/5. The deal 5 and the gain 5. Again, still probably pretty good. The 8 armor was a ton. Like we're talking, there was a heavy plate built into this, plus the 5 damage, plus a huge body on board. So with all of these nerfs, I don't think Control Warrior may see much play, and there's more nerfs for Warrior as we go down here. Big nerfs. Like Warrior just may be dead after this. So Tidal Revenant, while this again 3 armor, not too big of a deal. The damage is what makes this guy really good, and the armor is just like almost just extra. Definitely he turns into a shield block into a heavy plate now. And as we scroll down, Nelly's pirate ship, this right here, this is a huge one. This basically makes this probably one of the worst Colossuses now. Old, it adds a crew to your hand, and they cost 1, so you pick out all the pirates. 1 mana Mr. Smite, 1 mana, like no matter, like it was 3 mana and you get like 15 in stats, and half the time they have charge, right? Now they cost 1 less. So Mr. Smite is going to cost 6 or 5 instead of 1, I'm sorry. But with that, Mr. Smite may be getting changed too. That's why I said 6 instead of 5. Who knows? We do. So yeah, Nelly's pirate ship pretty much sucks now. Getting 3 pirates is good, but only getting discounted by 1 makes it so most of the time, like, that's all you're doing that turn, I guess. And the fact that Mr. Smite may have gotten nerfed. So this is, yeah, Nelly's pirate ship is pretty bad now. Maybe, I guess it's still good value, I suppose, but probably even not. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think they killed Nelly's pirate ship. I think this card is dead now. From the depths, bro, all Warrior cards. The old mana cost was 3, and now it's moving to cost 4 again. You could have done this in 2 ways. You either nerf the mana cost, or you nerf the amount of cards gets hit in the deck to 4, like what they did with Secret Passage. Instead of drawing 5, you draw 4. Or they could have just reduced them by 2 instead of 3. They took pretty much the easiest way out, which was just nerf the mana cost of the original card. I mean, sure. I didn't like this card at 3 was too good, because you coin this on 3, or you play it on 3, and then you draw Nelly on 4. It was just not good. So as much as I love playing Control Warrior, and I like Warrior a lot, like it doesn't mean I want Warrior to be like broken and have like some insane cards and blowout games. I mean, just going from the depths and then Sir Finley, or from the depths into a Rockthera or a Nelly was kind of just GG, and a lot of spots. So from the depths moving to 4, it's been a card on our radar for a long time now, and it's definitely going to slow Warriors early game a ton. And we have some dev comment here. Both Charge Warrior and Control Warrior variants have been overperforming on the ladder and trend towards higher and higher win rates, which is a sign of a good deck. Like, it just keeps more people keep playing it, and the win rate continues to go up. These decks shared several key cards this patch changes, and it's intended to lower the win rates of both of these archetypes. We don't want to expect these decks to disappear entirely after these changes, but we do hope that some of the more frustrating plays they are capable of, such as Nelly creating 1-cost Mr. Smite, will be removed or weakened going forward. What they did, though, is they killed a lot of the cards. Like this card, maybe you play it. Nelly's ship is gone. Revenant, they're probably just going to switch to the old Kaz package. Like, what were you, like, all of these nerfs to cards that, like, we see play now, the Warrior is just going to revert back to its previous state with cards that aren't nerfed. So we're just going to see the Dragon package with Amalgams and Warrior again, and it's just going to remove the Elemental Pirate package. You know what I mean? Like, Fell Soul. So this was a big one, actually. Not a card I expected to get hit, but right now they're running the new, I wouldn't say new, but the Demon Hunter Colossal, and then they run Fell Soul. And if this card gets discounted or you have coin, you can get, like, the DH Colossal down on turn 5, sometimes as soon as turn 4, and it's a little ridiculous, just because it's a lot to deal with, and it just blows out the games. Like, there's not, unless you're playing a control deck, there's really nothing you can do about that amount of stats on that board that early on. Plus it does 8, so they basically took this thing to 7 and kept its ability just to make sure that you don't have, again, those blowout games, putting a huge amount of stats on the board. It does a shit ton of damage. Like, if this card, like, when this turns into Colossus, if it lives a single turn, you just lose. It's too much damage. So yeah, if you're gonna make blowout cards or blowout conditions, they have to cost, you know, you need the opponent to have some mana to respond to it if their deck can. And that's what this change hopefully does. And that's fine with me. Again, if this is found in, like this is still just as good as Big Demon Hunter. Like, the card is basically meant for Big Demon Hunter, not Fell Demon Hunter or Aggro Demon Hunter, to cheat out a Colossus. And that's what it was being used for. Vanguard. It went from a 2/2, a 2-mana 2/2 to a 2-mana 2/1. This card, that's a huge change. So I don't know if this still sees any play anymore. I mean, 1 health is a bit like, this guy's the hero powers now, and you have to hero power with this card. So you're using 3 mana to get this card to get its value, or a weapon, and this guy is basically just gonna die the following turn to most heroes' hero powers. So Demon Hunter wants things that are a little bit more resilient than that, in my opinion, and we might see them move to that. Granted, Vanguard was really good, because if you don't kill it, you get, like, it's basically a 2-mana 4/4, because you get 2/1/1. So I understand why they changed it to a 2/1. Maybe a 1/2 could have been better. It wouldn't be as bad if it was a 1/2. 2/1 is definitely worse than a 1/2. In my opinion, for this, because you want it to at least live 1 turn or have a higher chance of living and not die to, like, a ping, like a rogue dagger, a druid hero power, you know what I mean? The list goes on, but we'll see. Null, so this is good. This is really good. So it used to have 4 attack, and now it's going to have 3 attack. This is kind of the change they had before, but they're keeping it at 5 mana. I think a 5 mana Null is fine, or it's at 6 mana with 4 attack. The problem is we're seeing turn 2, turn 3 double nulls. They put in 8 to, like, 16 damage, and it's not even turn 5 yet. It basically felt the same as Drekthar, you know, getting nulled, and that they even had, like, the cloaks so they could find their null faster. And it was one of those things where if, like, the rogue had null, their win rate goes up massively, and if they don't have null, their win rate is, like, normal, right? So it doing 3 instead of 4, again, break points. This is huge, and you also take significantly less amount of damage, which is huge. Again, this is one of those blowout cards. They find it early in the game, can't remove it, you know, the rogue wins. So again, they're targeting those cards that really, the outliers, right? And I think this is good. Null being hit, it was nerfed before for a reason, nerf it again for the same reason. How many, and then they're gonna revert it, and then they're gonna nerf that bitch again. Cariel, thank God. Holy shit, I hate this card. It's going to 8 mana. So they're not obviously making any changes to the card other than the mana cost, which I guess is okay. But a 7 mana Cariel, Jesus, Cariel the losers does it. I'm just kidding, not really though. Yeah, Paladin. Not liking Paladin right now, unless it's Dragon Paladin. That deck's pretty cool. But the rest of the Paladins with this card at the forefront with Mr. Smite and all that bullshit with the buffs, yeah, this card could go die in a hole and it would be fine with me. I don't like teching Vipers in all of my decks to be able to beat a single hero in a single class. It just doesn't feel good. So Cariel going to 8. I love this. It's a very powerful hero. Again, it's a cool, I don't want to say it's a cool hero. It's really just the weapon that's annoying. And it's just because like if they like when they coin this out on 6 and they're still at 25 health, you have to deal 50 damage to them. And you know they run like the sushi rolls and they're going to heal back up. They're just impossible to kill again unless you have Viper. And in order, you shouldn't have to play a certain tech card to beat a class. And if you don't have that, you feel like you lose. Like it's just not a good feeling. So Cariel being put to 8, again, slows down when she can be played, which allows you to kill her. And now you have that extra turn to kind of kill her before this card comes out. Siren, 4 cost. It is now moving to 5 cost, and it's going to get an extra health. Before it was a 2/5, now it's going to be a 2/6. Naga Mage pops off really early. If they have coin, they can go Siren, coin, Naga, and then they spell, Naga, spell, Naga, spell, Naga, spell, Naga. We actually just got done playing a rendition of the spell or ping Naga Mage. And while the deck is hard, it's probably one of the harder mage decks, one of the harder decks to play in this meta actually. It had turns that not a lot of decks can deal with really early on. You get the right stuff, you kind of just go. Again, harder deck to play, but that doesn't mean it should be actually just win you the game on turn 4 or 5 if you draw this card. So this card going a little bit later in the game, it's hard to say. I didn't look at this card as a problem, to be honest, again, because the deck is difficult to play and you don't see it that much. And it's, what are you doing? Oh, that's right, dude. You're reminding me to tell the viewers that if you like and comment and sub, this guy gets more treats and food and toys. Oh yes, buddy, what a great idea. You're a little greedy boy. Yes, you are. You want to make sure that you get the most because you're a good pupper. Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit by Siren, but not really. But I don't know, now this card seems like it might cost too much mana. That 1 mana may just be too much for this card, but maybe it's fine. Maybe now because everything else is slower, this can be slower. Earthen Scales used to cost 1, now costs 2. This was a huge amount of healing for the Druid, and it cost basically no mana to do so, especially when Druids can have like 10 plus mana. So Earthen Scales, instead of feeling it like you can just play it and it has no downside, it actually costs mana to heal for like 8 health or 9 health or 10 health or whatever you're Earthen Scalesing. It actually costs a decent amount of mana now, or at least a normal amount of mana for like how much armor it's giving. Dude, what are you doing? Simmer. So Earthen Scales going to 2 is fine. I don't mind this at all. Lightning Bloom. So this is like the wild change I was talking about. Instead of gain 2 mana crystals this turn only, it's refresh 2 mana crystals. So if you don't have the mana yet, you can't get the mana. If it's only turn 1 and you use this, you only get 1 mana, but you already had a mana, so like you just wasted it. So it's not giving you new mana crystals that you can spend that go away, right? So this is going to change the dynamic of this card a ton, and it's going to make this card not like we decrease the power level of this card by like 75%, maybe even more. Yeah, Lightning Bloom is dead. And then we have Mr. Smite. Its old cost is 6 and it is going to 7. This is huge. So like I was saying with Nelly, now this thing costs 6 if you get it off Nelly. And yeah, I don't think people are going to be playing Mr. Smite anymore unless you're like playing like a pirate deck, right? Like that would make sense. But now I don't think you're just like the mech paladins and paladin in general. I don't know. They maybe still play this on maybe buff paladin still plays Smite just because you have that hero power and all that bullshit. But this card definitely, this is huge, and this is fun. Cards that have charge and you can't really react to it, especially when they get buffed or they top deck it on 6. It just felt like it came out a little bit too early, and it was an annoying card because it also gave all the other pirates charge, right? So now we won't see the Nelly, 1 mana smite into 23 damage burst on turn like 6 anymore from warriors. This just literally can't happen anymore, which I think is fantastic. School teacher, we actually I guessed this card a while ago when we were talking about buffs and nerfs, and this card's seen in almost like every kind of deck, whether you're playing like an aggro deck, a mid-range deck, a control deck, brand school teacher, or whatever, how you want to use this. It's a very popular card, and it's hard, like a 4-mana 5/4 that, you know, has as much value as that Noggling. Plus, again, it works with the battle cry synergies. How would you like power scale this, right? So it now moving to a 4/3 makes this card significantly weaker to kill, and again, it's got a very powerful battle cry. So we're paying mana for understated minions, but has a pretty powerful battle cry, right? Before we were getting premium stats for a premium mana cost for a very good ability. So school teacher will probably see a little bit less play, but the decks that really rely on her, looking at like Curse Warlock, Control Warrior, and things like that, they'll still probably play school teacher because the stats are like fine. We're not like Control Warrior doesn't really give a shit about its minions. It just wants to not die and kill things that are on the board, and that's what school teacher provides. So with that, after that, we have like Battlegrounds updates, which again, I'm not really going to cover because I don't play Battlegrounds. But yeah, we've got a lot of updates here. And this update should be live when watching this video or shortly after. It is coming out today, which is super exciting. There's big updates and surprise updates. So pretty excited to see how the meta shakes up and what decks are going to do well. I'm guessing probably Wig Priest, to be honest. I think the Wig Priest is going to be pretty nutty. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.